people who cheated while in a relationship and didn't get caught. Did you stop? Why or why not? I was simply dating a girl I didn't like and was too much of a coward to break it off. I found someone else and started cheating. They didn't know about the existence of each other, but after some time guilt made me stop seeing both of them. Yeah, after it happened I realized I didn't love my significant other, so I broke it off. The guilt of cheating made me realize I wasn't the best boyfriend, so I spent a year working on myself and waiting until I found the right girl. I eventually did, and in a month it'll be our 3-year anniversary, so, I guess things do work out sometimes. I went away for the summer to work at a summer stock theater. My girlfriend at the time and I had been dating on and off for about a year. Things started off well, we talked and texted every day. After a while, talking every day turned to once or twice a week. About the last month into my contract, this girl that had been hitting on me all summer made a move and I just went with it. It was very no strings attached. She didn't know I had a girlfriend and I never told anybody, because nobody ever asked. After my contract was up and I went home, my girlfriend was waiting on me and she was so happy to see me that she was in tears. It destroyed me. I was happy to see her too, but knowing what I did just crushed me. I never once felt bad about it until that moment. I immediately told her. I felt so guilty and knew I had to tell her. Her happy tears turned to sad and angry ones. She yelled and cried and yelled more. I ended the relationship, because I thought she deserved someone better than me. We still keep in touch and are friends, but I always wonder what would have happened had I not cheated. She's forgiven me, but I haven't forgiven myself. This was several years ago and I still feel like a piece of shit. I didn't love him anymore. It had been a year since we last had sex or even kissed. It was an unhealthy relationship to say the least. I went out one night and got too drunk and hooked up with someone. That's how I realized I didn't love them, because I didn't even feel guilty after. It was such a relief to experience human contact again. I ended things shortly after. He doesn't know, telling him what I did would have made a bad breakup even worse. I am a human trash can. Threw away. My current wife and I were madly, deeply in love with one another, but we were both married to other people. When we found out how we both felt about one another, we immediately started dating, including sleeping with one another. This carried on for a year and a half, until we left our spouses for each other. We both feel absolutely terrible about being unfaithful to our spouses, but are insatiably in love with one another. We had both just married, young, and with the wrong people. Our lives now are a night and day difference from what they once were. I'm simultaneously guilt-ridden for what I put my last wife through and eternally grateful that I met my current wife. It has been 3 years now since we've gone public with our relationship, and I've never been a happier person. I was dating this guy for 2 years, but I was not happy at all. It was a long-distance relationship, we only saw each other a few days every couple of months. I felt like it was a one-sided relationship. I kept nurturing him and got nothing in return. Throughout our relationship, he would guilt me because I wasn't a virgin, even though he wasn't either. He kept comparing me to this girl he was obsessed with in high school, and he never allowed me to drink or smoke, even though he did. I got tired of this. On our 2-year anniversary, he never showed up, so I went to a show and met a bunch of new people. One of them was the person I cheated with, but not that night. About a month or 2 later, this guy and I would stay up for hours talking, and it felt nice because I felt appreciated and he talked about things I could never talk to with my partner with because he simply had no interest. A few days later, I invited him to go out to this bar with me and a bunch of my friends who I haven't seen in a while. He came along. During the night, we got drunk, and we ended up making out. It felt great, to be honest. We confessed our feelings for each other and that we wanted something out of it. A few days later, I went to his house. While my boyfriend at the time had no idea what was happening, we had sex, we cuddled, we watched movies together, we got dinner, and he introduced me to his family and close friends. I ended up dumping my BF at the time and got with this guy. We were together for over 2 years. We had a hell of a ride together. I grew so much from this relationship with this guy. I deeply fell in love with him, Unfortunately, we ran our course and realized we weren't happy anymore. We ended things a few weeks ago, and I hope nothing but the best for him in whatever he does in life. Didn't get caught. Was having second thoughts about my girlfriend anyway, and I made out with another girl while drunk at a bar. Broke up with my girlfriend like a week later for a few other reasons. Never told her as it would just make her question herself. Better for her happiness that she never found out. Still bothers me that I did that, and won't ever do it again. I was in an emotionally abusive relationship. There were screaming fights, several late nights, isolation, many thoughts of suicide. I wanted to get out so badly, but I was so broken and had been in the situation long enough, killing myself felt like the better idea. Like if I couldn't make him happy, then I didn't deserve to live. And then I started cheating. Dating apps became my best friend. Hookups, no friendships, no relationships, just nights where I didn't have to feel like I was useless. I slept with a lot of people, because if I could bring pleasure to them and make them happy, then my life meant something. When I managed to get free, because I left university and went home for Christmas several hours away, that was when I got free. I don't regret cheating on him. At all. You don't deserve to keep someone faithful to you if you can't even treat them like they're human. For a while, I did beat myself up, but not anymore. I did what I had to do to get through a bad situation. And I'm happy now. With someone better. In an open relationship. When I was younger, I had a few drunken one-nighters outside of my relationships. Never kept anything going, or even answered the other girls' attempts to contact me afterwards. I felt like it would be even worse if I kept talking to them and lead them or my girlfriends on. I didn't intend to hurt anyone with my actions, and wanted to minimize any damage I did. Alcohol was a bitch, yes it was me, and not the alcohol. I knew what could possibly happen if I drank too much. Side rant warning. My girlfriend, on the other hand, likes to have relationships with other guys behind my back, and I guess thinks she's very clever and I will never find out. It hurts me to find out things, but she cries, crocodile tears mind you, like she's the victim whenever I bring it up, so I just drop it. And that's pretty much been our relationship for the past year or so, her pretending to be with me, but caring enough about other dude to sneak out with him as often as possible. I feel like I'm standing in the way of their happiness. Really looks a lot shittier when I type that out, don't know why I've been so laid back about it. My story is different than the others I've read in this post. Reluctant to share because I know it's horrible, but here it is. All through college I was crazy for a manager at my part-time job. When I was single we hooked up multiple times, but that is all it amounted to. I always wanted more, and stupidly thought someday he would want that, too. We became more distant over time although we still worked together and I met this really great guy who I really cared about. This new guy and I dated for a while and became exclusive. So when I graduated college I've been dating this guy for a year. At this time he takes a summer internship 4 hours away, he was a junior. A couple weeks into his internship I quit my part-time job as I was starting my new job after graduation. My old manager and I got closer again since I was leaving and I reluctantly agreed to hang out with him. I loved my boyfriend but I never fully got over this guy. We had sex. It wasn't satisfying and I regretted it immediately. Now it's 2 years later and I am still with my boyfriend. I've never told him and I've been completely faithful to him since. It sickens me to know I did that to him. The guilt really gets to me still and I am very much in love with my boyfriend. I know it's wrong to keep this from him, but I can't lose him over something I am positive I will never do again. Still doesn't make it right. Ex used to shut down every time we got in a fight. Literally unreachable and this would drive me mad. Once he disappeared for a few days again unwilling to talk to me, and in those 2 days I met a guy in my class. New guy was irresistibly hot, was in a band, 6-pack, dumb as a sack of rocks but it didn't matter. Before I really got to know him my boyfriend decided to reappear with an apology. I loved him and stayed with him but it was too late, new guy had made an impression. I used to sneak off to new guy's apartment and we'd fool around, but the first time we went to have sex I couldn't do it and I left. showed up to my boyfriend's apartment instead and pretended like nothing happened. In a few days' time I was back at new guy's apartment. And went back again and again because it was too much fun. Looking back, I was miserable in the relationship. I felt no guilt for what I did, but broke it off anyways for fear of getting caught instead. The whole scenario was a high I couldn't get enough of. Obviously that relationship ended, and in a spiteful way I hope one day he finds out what I did. Wouldn't put it past myself to do it again. Cheated numerous times on a woman who I had no idea why I was with. I was sleeping around with 4 or 5 other women during our 6-month exclusive relationship. I ended up getting herpes, and breaking up with her to date the woman who gave me herpes. Username checks out.